Mr. Minnick promising to keep this video short that lists or that demonstrates possible upgrades to the board game project. When I click run on the current version that you're seeing in this video, even if it's different from a version that you downloaded and started with, the letter R has to be pressed on the keyboard to move the turtle to dice rolled random positions. There are definitely some features that could be changed to earn an A. Let's begin. One of the features that you could definitely change is the color of different items. So in the code that you see here, there is a spot, if you scroll down to the setting up the screen area, there's a spot where the background color was specified as white. Of course, you could change it to something like yellow and click run to verify that it works. So that's an upgrade. You could change the shape of the turtle. Instead of turtle there in the command .shape, there are a couple other commands that are allowed, like arrow and circle. I'm going to change it to a circle. That would be a downgrade probably, because now it's not a fun looking turtle. Plus, there is no direction of the turtle when you click R to move the dice, and it takes some of the funness out of the project. Having a turtle point in the right direction is sort of interesting in my opinion. So I'm changing it back to turtle. Another upgrade that you can make that's relatively easy is to change the number of sides on the dice that's being rolled behind the scenes. So without even understanding the code that's way down here where it actually rolls the random number right there on line number 151 in this version, you could just stay in the constants area up at the tippy top and change the 6 there to a small number like 4, but don't get much larger. Because if you go too big, like say 20, a 20-sided dice, when you click run and press R, you automatically win. Because this current board only has 15 squares. Watch, I press R. Oh, I'm sorry. You could roll a number hypothetically of like 19 or 20. So this time I didn't get lucky and win on the first roll, but it theoretically could have happened. 20 is not a good size dice for this variation of the program. I'm changing it back to 6, as you can see there in the video. Another easy upgrade to make on this project as is. The coordinates of the squares, which were detailed on a piece of grid paper that you probably have somewhere in your notebook. These squares on a piece of grid paper have lower left positions that are important. So where I'm waving my mouse, that is the bottom and left edge of square 6. This middle area here is square 6, so that spot is the spot that we care about. This right here, by the way, is square 12. And it's this bottom left corner that matters. So watch, I'm going to move square 12 over to the right a little bit. Square 12, because I counted the 12. Right here, these two lines of code, if I want to move it over to the right, I need to take its x coordinate, which is kind of referred to as left edge of 12, change it to a greater number than 160, such as 180, immediately run the program, and that does move that one square over a little bit, which is fine for me. It's an upgrade. When you move the turtle, and even though we have a 6-sided dice here, here's a tip. If you scroll and edit the correct line of code, such as this line of code right here in the DEF roll die function, instead of a random rand int number, I'm just going to temporarily change that to roll an 11. By putting an 11 and a hashtag in there to keep that code safe, now when I start at 1 and I roll an 11, even though I only have a 6-sided dice, 1 plus 11 is 12, and it should land on that square. The question is, am I going to be in the middle of the square or not? Let's see. When I run the program and press R, it's going to return an 11, which means somewhere in here it adds up 11 plus 1. And it did land me perfectly in the middle. I'm going to change my code back to where square 11 has a left edge of its original 160, left 12 I meant to say right here. I'm moving it back. I'm running the program one more time to see if the turtle lands in the center now that the center is over here where it was originally. So this code sort of upgrades automatically if you move the positions of your turtle, of your squares, just by changing the coordinates in the constant area. That, I believe, is one more upgrade for this video. You can always change the name of your game right here by changing whatever's in the double quotes here on line 69. You could sort of create your own name. Instead of Parcheesi, I might make it Parminiki. That doesn't make sense, but it is what it is. Instead of R to play, I might change it to spacebar by putting the directions of like a space there, or maybe I change this to press space to play. Now, if you make that change, you're going to have to scroll way to the bottom of the program, and I believe you can just put a space inside there instead of an R. Let's test it. When I run the program, it should say Parminiki, and it does. And now the question is, when I hit the space bar on this computer, does it roll a dice? Yep, it works. So now the space bar is a lot easier to hit than the small letter R. That's enough upgrades for this variation. Catch another video for other ideas, or come up with your own ideas of upgrades.